Did I witness a murder? So it was very late at night when suddenly I heard a woman scream. So I ran to my room and then I went close to my window and I started listening carefully. So the noise seemed to be coming from an apartment from the other side. I kept listening and I still heard the woman scream. And at some point, it seemed like she was in pain, that someone had actually punched her. So I kept listening to see if things were going to get worse. And at some point, it seemed like she wanted to puke. So I was like, oh, maybe it's not a big deal. But then she screamed again and she said, stop. So she asked someone to stop doing something. After that, I heard some noise coming from my right. So I went to my front door and I looked through the peephole. And this is when I saw a woman, a neighbor that was in the stairs. She also had heard the woman scream. And we continued to hear the woman scream. And also, I heard a man that was arguing with the woman. And it seemed to come from an apartment on the second floor. So I stayed there for a certain amount of time. And then I went back to my room. And I continued to listen carefully. And it seemed to be pretty violent. So this is when I started to be pretty worried. And I started to seriously think about calling the cops. I hesitated and I said to myself, what if something serious happens to this woman? What if she got beaten or something much worse happens to her? And nobody else wants to call the cops. I have the responsibility to do it. But things seem to be calming down. So I finally decided to not call the cops. I closed my windows and I went to bed. After that night, things calmed down a lot. I didn't really hear them. But a couple of weeks after that, I started hearing the woman scream again. But this time, what was happening was crystal clear. The man and the woman were having sex. So I don't know what I heard the first time. I don't know if it was anal sex or a combination of things. Maybe the guy was violent, but I also heard them having sex. I don't know. I have no idea. But what I can tell you is that I started hearing them having sex almost every single day. Some days, even multiple times. So, of course, I couldn't resist the temptation to masturbate while listening to them. I even looked through my window, but I couldn't see them because they had put some curtains on. So I did that a certain amount of time, but now, okay, I am really tired. Okay, it just doesn't want to stop. They don't want to stop. Okay, it was Very exciting at first, but now, please stop. I cannot take it anymore. You are way too annoying.